to the 1st of February edition of Cracking the Cryptic on actually a beautiful day. I have not been able to say that very often recently, but it almost feels like spring is on the way. Anyway, what are we going to be doing puzzle-wise today? Well, we have a puzzle to celebrate a setter's birthday. It is Senator Gronk's 53rd birthday today. Happy birthday, Senator Gronk. And we're going to be trying your puzzle, Pseudo Coup, which has a very interesting extra rule, which is something like there's a digit in each box that is a pseudo digit, and it takes the value of the box number that it's in. So in this box there'll be a digit somewhere where we'll have to replace, so say it was a 9 and that was the pseudo digit in this box, then it would actually have the value of 4, which wouldn't matter very much for that box. But you can see a lot of these boxes have a lot of office furniture, a lot of Sudoku furniture. Office furniture, Sudoku furniture. Speaking of Sudoku furniture, there is Maverick about to fly past my window. Definitely part of the Sudoku furniture of Cracking the Cryptic. But anyway, a lot of these boxes have loads of furniture in, so changing the values of things to be equal to their box number is going to be slightly crazy. And what I'd encourage you to do, Senator Gronk has had a miserable start to 2024, and I think that a Cracking the Cryptic video could be a brilliant way to cheer Senator Gronk up. So if you do enjoy this puzzle or even the video, please do drop a comment in and let Senator Gronk know how much you've enjoyed the puzzle. There we go. So what else can I tell you about? I'm going to give a shout out to Nicholas Gustafsson, who has let me know that Cracking the Cryptic is now featured in the online encyclopedia of integer sequences, which apparently is something referenced on the channel Numberphile. I probably did know that. I do watch a lot of Numberphile videos, but I just haven't sort of grokked it. But yeah, this is something. I think Nicholas has a Sudoku solver, and he was testing for any grid. What sort of loop can you draw in different sizes of grid if the movement from cell to cell in the grid had to be orthogonal, and the loop could not touch itself either orthogonally or diagonally? So I mean, and apparently, look, there's some solutions here. This is the sequence 0, 0, 1. So that's saying that, okay, so 0 is a 1x1 grid. Obviously, you can't draw a loop in a 1x1 or a 2x2. But in a 3x3, you could draw a loop, but just by taking the edge cells. In a 4x4, there are 13 different orientations, and they're shown there. 5x5, 167. And if we get up to the thing we really care about, which is obviously the 9x9, it's 4 million. No, it's not. It's 41 million. 41.7 million ways of organising the loop that we sometimes see in Sudoku. So that's probably why we need extra rules to sort out which one of those 41 million we're going to have to work on. But Nicholas, thank you very much for sending that. It tickled me. Also, shout out to Marcus over there in southern Germany, whose birthday it was yesterday, who received on his birthday Cracking the Cryptic's Greatest Hits Volume 1 and Volume 2. Look at that. That's a great picture, and a chocolate cake to go with it. So Marcus, we're delighted we arranged that specially, obviously, for those books to arrive exactly on your birthday, probably. Other than that, today's a big day, 1st of February. That means it is Patreon reward day. If you're a patron of the channel over on Patreon, then you get your monthly reward today, which is a Sudoku hunt from Riffclown. And this is the Sudoku gallery. It has opened this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Do check out those puzzles. They're wonderful puzzles. And see if you can win the competition. And if you're not a patron, do join. It's a couple of bucks a month, and it's frankly the best Sudoku club on earth. Now, other than that, what do I have to tell you? I've got some birthdays to do. Let me look at my list. Oh no, actually, I've got to say thank you as well. Hexcells. We did Hexcells last night. It was we had gremlins with the technology to start with, and then we had gremlins with our brains not working. But we did a few puzzles. But we felt we were underwhelming last night. But we do really appreciate all of your company, and we hope we didn't appall you too much with with our logical oversights and my misclicking. A lot of wine clicking last night. Terrible. Anyway, let's do some birthdays. We're going to start off by wishing Edmund a very happy 8th birthday down there in Australia. And this is from Emmy and Carl. And Edmund, I gather you've started to get into Cracking the Cryptic, which is lovely, lovely to hear. And you're having either a chocolate cake today or a smash cake, which I'm told is basically a chocolate cake with lollies in it. That sounds fantastic. That does sound fantastic. Edmund, many happy returns, and thank you, Emmy, for such a lovely email. We really do appreciate that. Next to Jewel, who's turned 21 today, and this is from your partner, Kirk, and I think you are over there in Brooklyn. And you're having dairy-free chocolate cake today. Well, very nice too. And going to, is it Cafe Reggio? I might be saying that wrong, but it looks like Cafe Reggio, which is, I think, the place you first went to when you met. So you're having an anniversary there. I'm supposed to let you know, Jewel, that Kirk is sorry for losing the Sudoku book that you lent. And I think Kirk is planning to replace it soon. I'm not sure. I wasn't overtly stated in email. I've sort of read that between the lines. But Jewel, many happy returns. And then finally, this is a gorgeous one as well. Down there in Santa Cruz, Argentina, Sol has turned 1 today. And I know this because your mum, I think it's Diana, but it could be Spanish pronunciation, so maybe Diana, would that be right? That could be total nonsense. I forgive me if I've got it wrong, but Sol, apparently you've been listening to our videos since before you were born. Isn't that lovely? So Sol, many many happy returns from the both of us, and yeah, that made us it certainly made me smile. Now, as Maverick does another buzz by, let us turn to Senator Gronk's puzzles. I shall move all my pieces of paper out of the way, and we will read the rules to Pseudo Coup. And they are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So that means we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. The cells on each pink line have a set of consecutive values in any order. Okay, so let's just, imagine this square here was a 1. Then these two squares, ignoring special rules, would have to be 2 and 3 in some order, so that altogether this line contained a consecutive sequence of digits. Adjacent cells on green lines have values that differ by at least 5, so these are so-called German whisper lines. You can definitely, this line looks so wrong to me for reasons that we'll come on to when we try and solve the puzzle. But so what that means is if this, I don't know what I did then. Did I press F1 or something? Let's go back here. I think I pressed F1 and it's trying to help me, but it wasn't helpful at all. But anyway, what else? Oh yeah, so if this was a 1, I tried to press 1, not F1, then this square here is at least a 6, 7, 8 or 9, because it has to be 5 different from the 1 at the start of the row. Now, what next? Cell values on a grey thermometer increase from the bulb end. So if this square here was a 2, then this has to be at least equal to 3, but it doesn't have to be 3. You can skip digits out as you go along thermometers, so it could look something like that. But you just have to keep increasing as you move away from the bulb. And then we've got cells separated by a black dot have values in a 1:2 ratio. So basically one of the digits will be double the other. Let's look at this one. So if this square here was a 2, this would either be a 4 or a 1, ignoring special rules. Now here, right, then we come to the special rules. So it says each row, column and box has exactly one pseudo cell. The pseudo cells consist of a set of the digits 1 to 9. So every pseudo cell, the digit in every pseudo cell has to be different. So, if the pseudo cells were always in the middle of their boxes, like that, then this would form a set of the digits 1 to 9. And it then says, let me read, I've got to be very careful how I read this. For all clue types, a pseudocell's value is that of its box number, counting left to right, then top to bottom. So what that's saying is this is box 1, this is box 2, this is box 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so in this box, for example, whatever the pseudo digit is, if the pseudo digit was a 1 and it went there, then it would have the value of 6, because that's box number 6. And that looks like it might break. But anyway, yeah, that's how the rules work. Very, very odd. But do have a go. It's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty and a whopping high approval rating on Logic Masters Germany. Apparently this is wonderful. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I mean, I've got to start with this, don't I? Because, well, there's the normal principle of German whispers lines is that you can't put 5 on them. And that's because, of course, that if you do put 5 on the line, what's the next digit? Well, its value, the value of the next digit has to be at least 5 different from 5. And if you go up, you get to 10. And if you go down, you get to 0. And 0 and 10 are not Sudoku digits. And anything more extreme are even more not Sudoku digits. So there is definitely a problem on this line regarding the 5. Ah, right. Okay, but one thing I can see about row 3 is that wherever the pseudo digit goes, the value that the pseudo digit will take on the line is either going to be a 1 in this box, a 2 in this box, or a 3 in this box. Now, okay, and we know that, right, so I've got it now. So we know that the actual 5 on this line can't live there. It needs to be the pseudo digit. And its value is going to be replaced by a low digit, because if there's a 5 in this box, it takes the value of 1. If there's a 5 in this box, it takes the value of 2. And if there's a 5 in that box, it takes the value of 3. And that means that this... then we can think about polarity, I think. Because one thing that we have learned, if we learn anything about German whispers, apart from the fact they don't have 5 on them, it's that the values have to oscillate between below 5 and above 5. And you can see that. Let's make that below 5. What's this digit now? Well, it's either below 5 or above 5, because 5 can't go on the line. Now, if it was below 5, these two digits cannot be 5 apart, no matter how far apart we separate them. The most they could be apart would be a 1 and a 4, and 1 and 4 are 3 apart, and 3 is not equal to 5, it's not enough. So this has to be from the other side of 5, and then this has to then be from the other side of 5, etc. along the line. But we've now learnt that because the 5 on this line is going to have a value of 1, 2 or 3, there are in effect along this line 5 low values, and 4 therefore high values, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And given the oscillation, we can actually do this, can't we, therefore? So these have to be low, these have to be high, and one of the blue cells is a 5 that is masquerading as either a 3, 2 or a 1. Ah, but this okay, so this feels wrong. Okay, I think I'm getting this now. This feels wrong because ordinarily we'd have a big problem here with 6, which is a monogamous digit. So 6 and 4 are interesting on green lines because they only have one partner. If you put a 6 on a normal German whisper line, it can only go next to 1 because 1 is the only digit that's at least 5 away from 6 that you can put in a Sudoku. If you put 4 on a Sudoku line, on a green line, you have to partner that up with 9 because that's the only digit that's 5 away. So one of these digits, one of these internal digits to the line is a 6. Well, that's going to have a 1 on one side of it. And what are we going to put on the other side of it? We're going to need another value of 1. And the only way I can generate a second value of 1 on the line is by putting the 5 in this box. And then the 5 will be the pseudo digit that has the value of 1. And then so this is a 1-5 pair. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. So that's a 6 surrounded by a 1-5 pair where the 5 takes the value of 1. Right, so I'm going to use red to indicate pseudo digits. And right, so we know these digits are now 7, 8, and 9. Whoops. We know, yeah, okay, but the 7 is going to have to be here. And I say that because if we think about the digits that 7 can be next to on a German whispers line, it needs digits that are at least 5 away from it. And those are the digits 1 and 2. But there are no more 1s that we can put on this line, because we've got one real 1 and one naughty 1 in here already. So this is going to have to be 2, and this is going to have a value of 1, and therefore that has to be a 7. If we put the 7 here, these two squares couldn't be 1 and 2, could they? And we can't repeat any more pseudo digits in row 3. So these two squares become 8 and 9. Oh, no, I tell you, there's another simpler way of thinking about this. Where's 4 on this line? 4 is monogamous, so 4 is going to have to go at the end. That's going to be a 9, that's going to be an 8, this is going to be a 3. And we have figured out that the initial line, which looked so strange. Now, what do we do next? Is it this black dot? So that black dot is yes, okay, so what we should do, actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of all my colouring, and I'm going to redify one of these, and I'm going to make everything else in that row and the box light green, which is going to be my colour for not a pseudo digit, so a natural digit. Right, so okay, now so this is a natural black dot that doesn't have 1 on it and doesn't have 6 on it, so it must have 4 on it. It's either a 2-4 pair or it's a 4-8 pair. So 4. Okay, so this thermometer's troubled now because 4 is in one of those 3 squares. But 4, wherever it is, the thermo can't work, and the thermo mustn't work because one of the digits is, oh yes, because one of the digits is going to become a 2, isn't it? That's the way that the red digit in this box is going to work. So there are 2, in effect, there are 2 2s in this box. There's the real 2, and there's a pseudo 2. A pseudo 2, not a pseudo coup. The pseudo 2. So the pseudo 2 is going to have to be, I want to say it's got to be there, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, how could you put the 4 here? That would imply that there are 4 lower digits than 4, with only 1 pseudo 2 available. There just aren't enough digits. There aren't 4 lower digits than 4. If you can't, you know, there are only 3 lower digits, and I can only get to 3 lower digits by using a pseudo 2. I definitely can't get to 4 lower digits or 5 lower digits. So this is a 4. This is a pseudo 2, which I don't know what that means. I don't think we know what. I suppose it's not a 5, is it? That's all we know about it. But that means that this has to be 1. This has to be 3. And okay, and as this is not a 5, there is a real 5 in those squares, which must be there, therefore. And that means we've only got 6 and 9 left to place in here. So this is either a 9, which is going to be masquerading as a 2, or a 6 that's masquerading as a 2. All of these squares turn green. These squares turn green. So this is a real Renban now. There is a naughty cell on there, 5, which is 6, going to count 7. As 3. 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, right. Okay, so right. So that's going to resolve this. Yeah. Okay, so this is a real consecutive sequence in this box, but it can't involve 3, 4, or 9, and it can't therefore involve. Oh, it can't involve 1 by Sudoku. But I was going to say it couldn't involve 1 or 2, because if it has 1 on it, it's going to be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and that will break this. So the digits these 3 consecutive digits are being selected from are 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this must have 6 and 7 on it. And that's going to resolve this digit. Look, so that's 9, that's 6. 5 by Sudoku is up here. Sorry, that was more simple than I was making it. This is, unresolved apparently. Okay, that's 2 or 8. We know the 4 is on the black dot domino, but we don't seem to know how to resolve that. Now, what have we got here then? We have got 1, 2, and 8, where, yes, that's fine. Okay, so it's the 8 that's the naughty digit here, because this has to form a consecutive sequence. And the digit that is being, we know there's a pseudo 3 in this box. And the pseudo 3, to be consecutive with the other 2 digits on this line, is going to have to be a 1 and a 2 with a pseudo 3, which is masquerading as an 8, if you see what I mean. And I would totally understand it if you don't understand what I mean, because some of these sentences are getting a little bit contrived. But that's good. That's good, because now we know these 3 digits, although they don't seem to be terribly informative. We've got, right, so now we've used 5. Actually, I'm going to put 5 as a corner pencil mark here to indicate it's 5 that is the pseudonymous digit. So we've used 5, 8, and 9. But we don't know, do we? We don't know where the well, hang on. How does that work now? This is broken, I want to say. Well, normally 3 black dots in a row, or 2 black dots in a row linking 3 cells. That's either going to be a 1, 2, 4 triple, or it's going to be a 2, 4, 8 triple. But neither of those will work here. Right. Well, that's the other point that we're going to have to bear in mind here. So, yeah, okay, I see it. Right, so this is broken somehow, because it can't exist because we've got a 4 in the column. So this is definitely broken, which means that there is a naughty cell along it. That means this cell is natural, which means that is not the naughty 8. But more important, the digit that is appearing on here that's pseudoified, it's becoming a 6, isn't it? So once we know this is broken, we now know there is a 6 in this sequence. Now that's right. So the way this black dot must work then, if it's got 6 on it, 12 is not a valid Sudoku digit. So we're going to have 3 with the 6. But then we can't have 1.5. So the only way this will work is if there's a 3 in the middle of 2 6s. So that's natural. There is a real 6. That is true. There is a real 6 in one of these, but that's not the pseudo 6. There is also another digit, which could be anything, which is pseudoified to become a second 6, and that's the way that these black dots can actually exist. So, okay, so that is not a 6. This is wonderful, isn't it? It's totally bizarre, but it's very, very clever. Right, so now 3 is quite interesting down there. These are all natural digits. Oh, right, so we know the polarity of these. Yes, we do. Okay, so what I'm thinking of is along this line, we must have oscillation occurring, mustn't we? Whoopsie, that's not on the line. So we've got some sort of oscillation occurring in value terms. I'm not saying in the actual digits that are placed, but in value terms. Now, the digit that gets reassigned in this box becomes a high digit. It becomes a 9. Now, what would happen, therefore, if those purple digits were low digits, had low values? What could we put into those cells? We can't. We've already used a 1 or a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So in terms of the low values we could put into these squares, we could put whatever we don't use here, but there would be nothing else we could do. Because even if we use the which we can't even use the pseudo digit, can we? Because that's how I started to think about this. This has already been used up in the column. So this is just, so these have high value. They have high values, definitely. All right. So this is a 1 or a 2 is maybe all I can get from that. That is, these are real digits. All of them are real. Actually, yeah, but the pseudo digit has gone from these two squares because the pseudo digit's gone from the column. So neither of these is going to be replaced by, we couldn't put 5 down here and replace it with a 9 because we've already used the pseudo digit. In fact, hang on. We can't make 5 the pseudo digit at all down here because we've already used 5 as a pseudo digit. So 5 can't go on this line. Right, that's going to be important, isn't it? So 5 is not there. Right, yeah. So 5, this is weird. So 5 in this box is in one of those 3 squares. Because if 5 was in one of these 2 squares, there is a natural 6 there and a naughty digit that is masquerading as, that has the value of 6 once it's been pseudoified. Now that naughty digit can't be a 5 because 5 has already been naughty in box 1. It's not allowed to be naughty twice. So that means 5 goes in, it goes in the corner. We get a 6-7 pair at the top. 5 is off this whisper for sure. And these 2 digits are natural and high. So they've got to be, and they can't be 6. So these are 7s, 8s and 9s. And right. What does that mean? I mean, I know these are high valued digits, but these could be pseudoed. I suppose, but I can play games with the low digits here, because the low digits, the low values in these 2 positions can't be they can't be the pseudo digit, because the pseudo digit would have the value of 9 and be between 2 digits that were high as well, and the German whisper constraint would break. So these digits are low digits. I'm unsure whether I can put 4. I don't think I can put 4 in, can I? If I put 4 in, that implies I've got to surround it with double 9. Don't think that's possible. One thing I've just noticed as I'm thinking about that is that this 9 here can't go into the red cells here because I've already used 9 as a naughty digit. So 9 is over there. So 9 is over here. But that's the actual 9. It's not the pseudo 9. Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to do that again. Okay, this is really weird. It's really weird. Okay, where is 8 in this box? And I'm going to say that 8 can't be, again, it can't be a red digit because it's already been a red digit here. So that means 8 is in one of these squares, which means 8 in this column is in one of those two positions along with its friend the 9. So this is actually an 8-9 pair. Right, and I've got a 1-2 pair, so these two digits are 6 and 7 now. So 7 is the naughty digit in this column. And now I've used up 5, 7, 8, 9 as my naughty digits. That can't be 3. I don't. Do I know what that is? I feel that it can't. What would happen though if that was 4 and that was a naughty digit? Then the naughty digit could have the value of 9, and that could, yeah, maybe you could. That can't be 4. That feels correct, because if that was 4, I'd have to put double 9 here. And I'd need 2 pseudo digits because I know there's a 9 over there. So that's right. So that's a 1-2 pair in this box. There we go. So this is 3 or 4. And the value of this... Oh, this is sick. Oh, that's it. We've done it. We've done it. Because what can I put into this square now by whisper logic? Well, the value of this square has to be at least equal to 8. Because we need a digit that's at least 5 away from 3. But the thing is, it can't exactly be 8 because 8 is a natural. Well, yeah, 8 is natural actually because it can't be pseudoified. So it can't be 8 and it can't be a real 9 either because they're there. So that's pseudoed. That's pseudoed and therefore has the value of 9. So that does allow this to be 4, but it could still be 3 and that would work. But that is the pseudo digit. So that digit is a real big digit. So that's 6 or 7 because it can't be 8 or 9. And that gives us a 6-7 pair in the column. And if that's okay, and if that's the red digit, that's not a red digit. So that's a natural digit, which means that digit is now a 1 or a 2, which means that is actually an 8. And that means, probably means something. I don't know what it means. I know, okay, these squares now seem to have to be 5, 8, and 9 by Sudoku, which is very surprising. Oh, well, what's even weirder than that is that now, what is that digit by Sudoku? And I think that's got to be a 4, which means that must be a 3. And then for that is... Okay, so that takes 3 out of these squares. What is going on? This is a 5, 6, 7. These are 5, 6, and 7. This is a 4, counting as 9, that sits between a 3 and whatever that digit has the value of. Wow. Okay. Well, that feels right. So now, okay, so I thought what was going to happen was I was going to get all the high digits dealt with. I've got 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 dealt with, and I know these squares are 1, 2, and 4 now. And I guess we look here, do we? Yeah. Well, one thing I can say about box 5. Hang on. Yes, no, there's more than one thing I can say about box 5. Right, the first thing I'm going to say about box 5 is that the 5 in this box cannot live on the line for many, many reasons. But one of the reasons is that 5 is not allowed to be an exchangeable digit, because 5 has already had its fun in box 1, and 5 can't live on a whisper line. So 5 is in one of those 2 squares. But I think we can do better than that, because the digit that is going to be that is going to be pseudoed in this box becomes another 5, and therefore it can't live on the line. So imagine that the pseudo digit was on the line. Whatever it was, if it was a 1, say, it would then become a value of 5 and break the line. So there is a red digit in one of these 2 squares that's not the 5 digit. And therefore, I want to say that this line, which must be 7 cells long, yes, I know what we're going to do here. I understand. Okay, so we can get rid of the shading down there, I think. In fact, what we should do, we should be diligent about our shading and make sure we greenify everything we possibly can. I will greenify this one once I've understood how the whisper works. But if we alternate the polarity along it, now the point here is that these have the same polarity, the 2 ends. Well, that means that I have to put, or I have to deal with the fact that either 4 or 6 in this box is a very troublesome digit to place. Because I could put 4 or 6. If purple was low, actually I couldn't put 4 there. I could put 4 here if purple was low, and that's fine because it's monogamous and it only has 1 partner, so this can be 9. But it would raise the question then, where does 6 go in this box? And I can't put 6 here because it needs to have the same polarity as the 4, the digit that we have here. So 6 would either be internal to the line, which it cannot be, because that's going to cause double 1 around it, or 6 is in one of those squares. And that logic works exactly analogously, or analogously if you prefer that, if we were to think about 6 being on one end of the line. Then our problem would be over 4. So these squares do include the monogamous digit that is not synonymous with the colour purple. So these squares are 4, 5 and 6, and that's not 4 by Sudoku, and that's not 6 by Sudoku. And that is very, very... So now how does this work? If that's 4, that's 5, and then we have to put a 6 on one end of the line, so that 6 would go here. This would be a 1. And that doesn't work. Okay, we disproved that quite quickly. That's not able to be 4, apparently. That's weird. I'm just trying to make sure I can articulate that. I think I understand it. Yeah. No, I do understand it. Right. Okay. No, this is beautiful again, actually. This is beautiful. If this is 4, what do we know about the nature of this digit? And the thing that we know is it's a naughty digit. Oh, in fact, it can't be a naughty digit. Oh, hang on. Now I'm totally confused. Because 4's already been naughty down here. So maybe it's even simpler than I was thinking. The way I did this was that I said, if this is 4, it's naughty because it's not the 5. So the 5 would go here, but this would be the red digit. We then know that on the whisper line, where does 6 go? Well, it's got to go in the end of the line, therefore. So you'd have 4 and we'd have a naughty digit and a 6 looking at this square. Now, the weird thing about this square is it may have 6 and 7 written into it, but in effect, that is a real 6, which would be seeing this real 6, and a naughty digit. which could be anything but happened to be 7, but it couldn't share a row with another naughty digit. So I was seeing that as broken, but it might be simpler to say you can't have 2 naughty 4s. That I just think that's prettier the way I saw it. So that I think is 5 then. So this is a no, that's a normal 5. That's normal 5. This is naughty 6. Now have we had naughty 6 though? No, I haven't had naughty 6. I thought for a moment I had naughty 6, but no, I've had naughty 7. So now I've had naughty 4, naughty 5, naughty 6, naughty 7, naughty 8, and naughty 9. And now I have to put normal 4 on this, and it has to be at an end, and it can't be at that end. So that's a 4. Whoops. This is a 9, therefore. These squares, that's a 2. This must be that's a 3, that's a 1 using Sudoku. And these other digits are 7 and 8. We can just write them all in. And that's a 5 by Sudoku. And that's a 2 by Sudoku. And that's right, and that's a 7. Which I think means this is a 7. And that's a 6. Okay, we know the 6 is a natural 6 and the 7 is a naughty 7. And now we can uncolour all of this and make that green. And now we know there's a naughty digit down here, and all of this is now green. We know all of this is green. This is green. There's a naughtiness here. And we also know that, I probably want to think about this one now. I'm not sure. Let's just put the options in. 1, 5, 9, 4, 6, 8. Very even collection of digits. And 2, 3, 7. Now, what do we know about this then? That's not 2 by Sudoku. There's a 1-2 pair looking at it. That's not 3. That's not 4. But the naughty digit here is going to have the value of 8, isn't it? So if that's naughty, it's an 8, and that doesn't work. Doesn't matter what it is in terms of its actual digit, but it can't have a value of 8 and make this Renban work, because that's too even. If that's 8, what digit are we going to make this such that once we slot this digit in, this forms a consecutive sequence? It can't work. So that is not able to be the naughty digit, I think, is how that must work. So this is a naughty digit, and therefore it can't be a 7, because 7's already been naughty once. So now we found a naughty 3. How outrageous. And this is a natural Renban. This has got to exist. So 7, 8, 9 would work. I think it's going to have to be. I mean, if that's 2, that could be 4, but that can't be 3, so that doesn't work. So that's got to be 7. This definitely is not 4. This definitely is not 1. There's a 6, 8 pair, so that's now 4. So 4 is in one of these 3 squares in box 7. Now hang on, if this is 7, 6, it could be 5, could it? Oh, that's very strange. That's got 2 ways of working. This is a 2 though, by Sudoku. The 7 gives me a 6 here, so that's going to do something in terms of Sudoku. So this is now a 6, this is now a 7. 6 on the whisper can't be next to 2, so that's a 1, that's a 2. Oh, that's beautiful. That's the way that sort of, there's a deadly pattern sort of inherent in the puzzle in those 1s and 2s, but it's just got unwound by everything we just did. That 7 is also getting me the 7 and the 5. Oh, there we go. So now that's 9, that's 8, that's 6. This is a 1, 5 pair. Box 8 is just done. We've just filled it in. That's done. 9 and 8 go into the grid. And therefore, okay, so we can see if we take a quick scan of our red digits, the digits we've not used yet are 1s and 2s. So okay, so there's a 1 in here. Which does the 1 and the 4. Isn't that pretty? This is really cleverly put together. It's very, very, yeah, it's clever. It's correct. I mean, it is just very clever. Yeah, so we know that one of these is naughty. And we know that the only digits that we're allowed to be naughty are 1s and 2s, and this can't be a naughty 2, so it must be a naughty 1. So that's got to be a 1, that's got to be a 4. 4 lives in a cell up here. Now, probably what we should do is pencil mark this box, I think. That, in fact, that is a 1, 2, 3 triple. So, okay, I was about to say one of these must be naughty then, because I'm looking for a naughty 2. And it is in one of those by Sudoku, but I could have seen that from these red cells already. Right, these squares are 4, 6, and 9. Let's put that in. So these squares are 5, 7, and 8. We can get rid of the 6 from this one. This has to be a normal Renban. And if this was the naughty 1, in this box, its value would convert to 4, which is the box number, and the whisper would break, because it would be 4, and this would be 1, 2, or 3, and I was about to no, and you can't have 2 naughty digits in the column anyway. But this one, the 2 down here is going to have the value of 7. We've got to remember that. But yeah, that's definitely not naughty, is what we've just learnt. So the naughty one is over there. And that digit is therefore 3, 8, or 9, I think, and is normal. So this can't be. I don't think this can be naughty now, because if it was the naughty 2, it would have the value of 7, and this can't have a value of 1 or 2 opposite it. So that's not naughty either. So that's green and is 1 or 3, because the 2 naughty is over there. So now we've found the 2 naughty digits in columns 1 and 2. They're in this 2 by 2. So that can't be a third naughty digit in 2 columns. So that's not naughty, which means it's a natural 1. This is a naughty 5. Therefore, that is not naughty. Okay, and the 1, that's absolutely beautiful again, because the 1 now tells me where the actual Sudoku 1 goes in box 4, which I know is the naughty digit, which means that's now a natural digit, not a value of 1. But that tells me which one of these is naughty because of the 1 here. So that's got to be a naughty 2. So this is not a naughty digit. This is a green digit. This is a naughty digit. And we've got a 1, and the 1 keeps doing work. So that's 1, that's 3. This is now a high digit. And that gives me an 8, 9 pair, which means this is a 3 in the row. No 3s in the corner today as a result of that. Whoops. Okay, and this has to be a normal Renban, so that can't be 6. This is a 4. This is a 5. Okay, that's just forced. This is a 9 now, so this is a 6. And we can presumably do some things as a result of that. Let's see. That's not 2. That digit? No, that's not done. That digit's done. 7, 9, 3. I can't see how to do that. All right, let's try these. 2, 4, and 6, is it? That's chocolate teapotted. That's not 4. Look, that's not 6, and that's not 2. Bobbins. Oh, I see. All right, let's look at this column. I've not put 2, 4, and 8 in, so that's 8. That looks like it will be useful. So that becomes 9. That becomes 2 or 4. It still wants to go either way round, I think. Okay, we need to put 5 and 7. Oh, 5 goes here. There we go. So that's 5, that's 7, that's 7, that's 8. That's 2. Right, so this is a 4-8 pair with 8 in the corner. That's 2, that's 6, and that's 4. And that might be... Oh, we've not greened these. That might be correct. Let's just have a quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We do have a complete set of digits in the red. Can't see why that's wrong. Yes, it's correct. Solve counter 35 in 100, almost exactly 100 days. Do I like the puzzle? I loved the puzzle. That's absolutely brilliant. Senator Gronk, on your birthday, it's not really fair this, but you seem to have given me a present. That was absolutely wonderful. You take a simple twist on Sudoku like that, but what Senator Gronk has done is made that so elegant. I mean, it was very obvious where to look to start, but it was like a sequential sequence of vignettes, little puzzles that were all interesting in their own different ways. You know, we had to think about how the thermo would work with the 4. We had to think about how the Ren bands would work here. The black dots were very clearly broken. And then that box I couldn't really get my head around very quickly. But yeah, that was lovely. And then the way that the 1s, 2s and 3s disambiguated in these boxes, it's just sensational. Sensational stuff. Loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and especially when they wish Senator Gronk a very happy birthday. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.